Rocks. They're not just part of our planet, they're part of our story.
Beneath your feet, right now, Earth's hidden forces are shaping the world as we know it.
Now, we usually think of geology as the study of deep time, chronicling ancient events like mass extinctions and climate change, but rocks don't just record history, they actually help create it.
And today, we'll show you how.
Because more than 1,000 years ago, at a site where the Earth is literally splitting apart, the Vikings found the perfect place to establish something remarkable. The longest running parliament in the world, still going strong today, all thanks to plate tectonics.
Is there a better adventure for 9 worlds? I don't know. Let's go.
All over the world, we've seen how Earth's geology shapes human history.
Looking at the Grand Canyon, you'll see the sacred sites of the Haulapai, Hopi, Zuni, and all their origin stories. Cliffs at places like Mesa Verde and Bandelier housed humans for shelter and protection, and European stone circles and burial mounds were the explosion of the most ancient and sacred rituals.
Geology influences culture worldwide. You may even have some of your own favorite examples of this in your backyard.
And if you do, please tell us about these awesome places.
But there's nowhere Earth power is more visible or more linked to legendary sagas than in Iceland, making this island nation the perfect place to explore how Earth's influences shape our history and culture.
It's also a really great place to soak in hot springs and go whale watching, but those are adventures for another day.
To understand how Iceland's landscape shaped its history, we need to understand a bit about plate tectonics. Now imagine the Earth as a gooey, delicious apple pie. Yeah, right? Fantastic. Now, the outer crust and the gooey layer that's just underneath, kind of like that bit of pie filling that sticks to the crust after it's baked, that together makes the lithosphere. And this is the part that forms Earth's tectonic plates. Beneath that, you have a thick, dense layer of delicious gooey filling. This layer of rock, called the asthenosphere, lets these tectonic plates move around, colliding into each other, pushing together, pulling apart, doing all sorts of crazy movements.
Plate tectonics are very fun. Do
we have to do like different plate tectonic dances? Like divergent, subducting, no?
You're cringe, Mom.
You know you love it. Ow!
So how many tectonic plates are there?
That's a great question. It's a great question, but surprise, it might depend a little bit on which geologist you ask, because most agree that there are 7 major plates, and there are at least 5, maybe sometimes as many as 8 minor plates. So that leaves us at about 15 tectonic plates, give or take.
But here's where things get even murkier. There are also microplates.
These are tiny pieces that break off at the plate boundaries. Now these are a bit like the bits of pie crust that crumble at the edge when you try to cut into the pie slices. And defining microplates is really sticky business, so there's no clear agreement on the number of microplates that currently exist in the world. And this brings us to a fascinating fact about Iceland.
Microplate.
They're so tiny, little microplates.
Baby.
You're the cutest little microplate. Yes, you are. Can you have cute aggression for a microplate?
Iceland is right on top of 2 major tectonic plates, the North American and the Eurasian.
Exactly, and these 2 plates meet at the mid-Atlantic ridge, which is mostly underwater, except it actually surfaces in Iceland. And this is super convenient for tourists because the ridge splits the country on land where we can see it, allowing us and the Vikings who first settled here to witness the tectonic activity, which is incredibly unique.
Especially because in Iceland, these plates are pulling apart, creating all sorts of chaos.
So chaotic, yeah. As these plates diverge, magma rises from the mantle to fill the gap, creating new crust and effectively growing the island by about 2 centimeters a year, all right here at the mid-Atlantic ridge along the center of the country.
Making one heck of a tourist destination. At Þingvellir National Park, people come from all over to walk between the plates at Almannagjara Gorge.
You said those so well. I gave him the hard ones to say. He's not amused. Anyway, they also come to swim between the plates at Silfra, the only spot in the world where you can touch 2 tectonic plates underwater.
So does that mean you're right there touching 2 continental plates at the same time?
Yeah, that's actually kind of complicated. It kind of looks like that, right? You see this huge gash in the earth, and when you're along the path at the Almannagjara Gorge, you're standing on the North American plate, but you are not looking directly at the Eurasian plate. That's actually several kilometers away. And you can't really touch both plates here. It's not like one row of rock is the North American plate and one row is the Eurasian plate, and you can just kind of jump back and forth. like some kind of game of tectonic hopscotch.
Or floor is lava.
Or floor is lava, which actually kind of would work in Iceland. Anywho, instead, when you're standing at the Alamannagjara Gorge, you are looking across to this wide open area of land that's not technically the Eurasian plate, and it's not really the North American plate either.
So what is it? Big dilemma we have on our hands.
Big or tiny? Yeah, we're gonna get to that. But first, to the Vikings. Ha-ha! Okay, well, all right, there's that. Because to the Vikings, this wide open space of no man's land along these two plates was the perfect spot to form their government.
Thingvellir literally means assembly plains, and this park is where a protected national shrine as home of the first and oldest continuous parliament.
In 930, the Norwegians who settled here suddenly realized they needed to form a general assembly, or what they called a thing. And they needed to meet some very specific requirements to find just the right place to hold their thing. And the geology of the Rift Valley, in the area that is now Þingvellir National Park, made it the perfect site for all things, or their all thing, actually.
The first thing they needed for their thing? A lot of open space, convenient for travelers of all parts of Iceland.
It's a very important thing. Looking around the park, you'll see that the tectonic plate movement has made a natural amphitheater right in this spot in the heart of the country. I mean, location, Vikings, am I right?
What Mom means to say is that the rocks in Alamannagjara Gorge create a higher area functioning more like a stage or backdrop for a speaker right along a broad valley for an audience.
Yes, that. This was the ideal setting for the Althing. This open valley was large enough to hold the thousands of people who would travel here every year for the 2-week gathering focused around the Logberg or Law Rock. And it was here that the law speaker would recite the laws, they'd give the news, they'd talk about other proceedings or rulings to the crowd, things that people needed to know. So the law speaker needed a place of prominence and visibility.
The exact site of the Law Rock remains unknown. Many people believe it was located in Alamannagjara, a location perfectly constructed for the role by tectonic forces.
Now, this spot was both visible to the entire assembly gathered in the valley, and as a bonus, it had this rock wall that would work as a natural amplifier for the speaker.
Built-in natural sound system and podium, all thanks to the shifting plates below.
It's the geology of Thingvellir that made it so ideal. The flat open plains and all the natural barriers like curving cliffs and jutting features helped define the assembly area while also offering practical solutions to logistic problems like space and location that helped make the Althing a thing.
And that open landscape is largely on one bit of space and is neither the North American plate or the Eurasian plate. So what exactly is this area?
Well, plate tectonics isn't a clean process of jigsaw pieces fitting neatly together. It's messy business, like your Viking toddler got a hold of your pie and just smashed the crust into all sorts of pieces. And sometimes there's no clear name for the crumbs and the splits, except here at Thingvellir, where most scientists agree there's actually a third plate, the Hepraflecki microplate.
What? There's a third plate? Where's that in the tourist book?
Yeah, they don't tell you that part, do they? So here is what's happening. First, it helps to remember that the cracks we're seeing at the surface are the places where the Earth splits as the plates pull away, because these are the spots where the rock is the weakest.
At Thingvellir, the movement of the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates cause new cracks in the Earth, and these eventually may become new plate boundaries.
Over the last 15 million years, boundaries have shifted and pieces of the plates have broken off like crumbs of pie crust. And some of these pieces meet the criteria for microplates, and the Hepraflecki microplate is one of them. So yes, you have the North American and the Eurasian plates splitting in this location, and there's cracks and there's crumbs and a microplate that make the claim that you're walking or swimming between one plate to the other sort of true, and maybe also kind of not true all at the same time, because these processes are three-dimensional and happening over a long period of time over a very large area, and they are very complicated. The world is complicated, as it turns out.
I think you're overreacting.
Who knew? No, it's all very complicated, Kai. It's not simple at all.
Iceland's land is still shifting and changing. A landscape that's being torn, patched, reshaped by Earth's incredible forces every day. And that's a story that goes on as long as the plates keep moving.
Thingvellir is so much more than just a place to walk or swim between the plates. It's where your vacation photos capture Earth's messy movements, our constantly changing planet, and a glimpse of history, all in one amazing shot. That is a saga worthy of the Vikings.
Haggai would be proud.
That might be the Olympic theme.
Yeah, it is.